Welcome. It's Mandy again. We are on the mat today. I do not suggest shoes. I think you should really try to be completely in your body here because today's workout is all about stretch. It's all about athletically stretching, full mobility, and we'll have an opportunity to repeat through and add things on. So are we ready for this journey or what? Yes, of course we're ready for it. So we're going to start with some quick mobilization to get the body a little warm before we get into these deep stretches, and away we go. So starting in a kneeling position can be a lot for certain people. If this is a lot for you, feel free to start in just an easy seated posture. We're going to start with just some deep shoulder rolls. So take your shoulders around, down, and back. Let the neck just be neutral as you do this, and begin to connect to your diaphragmatic breath. That's going to be in through our nose and out through our mouth. Let's start to add the elbows. So we're going around, down, and back. A couple more, around, down, and back. Last one, around, down, and back. Beautiful. Let's reverse that circle. So around, down, and forward. And just again, noting what's happening in the neck and jawline. Also unfurrowing the brow. Let's add the elbows a little deeper. We're getting into the nooks and crannies of our shoulders, hips, and everything else as well. So really just allowing our bodies to surrender to what their mobility might be. So you might see me doing things today that are a little more advanced, and you might be a little more advanced than me, and that's part of living in the body we're living in. Last one over to one side, just feeling that side bend stretch. So again, if kneeling is a lot, feel free to be in that easy seat. Let's find a twist. So I'm going to take my hand, wrap it around my back, and then the other hand wraps around the back. I'm using my arms as a bind to find a deeper twist through the spinal column. So we'll do one more per side just for the evenness in the body. And then we're going to start to unfurl the legs. So go ahead and slide onto a hip, slide your heels forward, pedal out your legs. Reach the arms up. No need to keep the legs stick straight here, just fold over the legs to feel the hamstring stretch. Roll your way up and reach those arms again. Round and reach. So if you don't touch your toes, that's okay. It's totally great, actually. We're all coming from different levels here. So if this starts to feel accessible, maybe I straighten the legs, flex the feet. Last one, all the way up and all the way forward. Good. Separate the legs a little bit more. So I've got mat width space between my feet. And then I'm going to start to find a little twist. I reach, and I'm going to reach across towards the pinky toe, and then I switch. And I'm looking to the back. Beautiful tree. Let's do one more here. Such a short warm up, still connecting to the breath. Inhale, and then exhale to wring it out. Beautiful. From here, go ahead and place both feet flat on the floor. Slide your hips a little further forward. Take your hands and just kind of move them around back behind your hips. So we will be on the hands. So it's just taking a moment, feeling your fingers on the mat, maybe lifting off of the heels of the hands. This is all about the hand work here. So if you can, maybe just take a moment, put some body weight back there, feel your triceps and biceps, but keep the shoulders packed away from the ears. Last one. And then neutralize here. So find your hands flat on the floor, spread your fingers out. My fingers are pointed out towards the corners of my mat. I'm going to lift off those hips, shift my weight front to back, and lower my hips. Beautiful. Lower down to your back. Place your hands next to your hips. Nice little hip roll here. I'm going to roll my way up into a nice shoulder bridge and slowly set my spine down. Really feel that articulation. So starting at the hip base, rolling my way up, up, up off the hips. Notice if the knees are bowing out. We don't want that too much. Pressing through the feet evenly. Last one here, lifting into the bridge. Stay in the bridge, just march the feet here for the last bit of our warm up. Oh, I love this workout. I'm so excited to bring it to you. Good. Set your heels or hips down and hug your knees into your chest. Give your back a little massage, and we'll rock and roll our way to sit up tall. Once you're sitting up tall, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Beautiful. We're going to get started. Take your foot outside the mat. Lift off your back knee, and then we switch. I'm taking the other foot outside in alignment with the hand, lift off the knee, and switch. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, good news. We are going to do this again and again. So let's do one more per side. Yeah. And then sit back into that child's pose. Get off the heels of the hands, tuck the chin. Adding in here, I'm coming into that lizard stretch, lifting off the back knee, reaching up and back. Oh, that feels good. Hold it. Return. Set that knee on the floor and open out. Big hip stretch here. Let's do 2 more per side. So lifting off that back knee, open twist, look back towards your hip, lean your chest back. Take that hand to the knee, set the knee down and open the hip. Excellent. Let's switch our sides. Placing the knee on the floor, other side. Lifting off of the back leg, I open twist to the back room. So I love this. You're able to see the side body that's stabilizing. Notice my hand is supporting me. Lower down and open the hip girdle. Return. Lifting off the knee, open, twisting back, and returning to the knee and open. Yes. Okay, return to child's pose. This is our shift. So we're gonna go into a half kneel position. If kneeling is really tough, like we talked about earlier, have a pad underneath your knees. It should be a little helpful. So I'm gonna step one foot to the corner, shift my weight and open. Come back through the center and switch your legs. So now we're hands-free on this effort. Open. And all I'm doing is sending my hips to the front to feel a deeper groin stretch, alternating my feet, right? So just alternating that balance in the half kneel position. Let's do 1 more per side. Breathing into those hips. Tuck your seat. Support using the abdominal region here. Notice if you're not engaging through the abdominals. Beautiful. We're going to add into this. So with this, I'm going to go into this shifting of the hips, but I'm going to send my arms up. Draw the elbows back. Good. Come back through the center and switch. So again, if this is a lot of pressure on the knee, little pillow underneath the knee should be super helpful. Open up those hips. Return and switch. Big lift and reach. And switch. Pausing in those moments where it feels good, like it feels a little sticky, but you're supported. Whew. Last one. Both sides, right? So feeling that stretch all the way through that front line of the body. And then meet me on your mat in the middle, please. So I'm going to take one shin parallel and the other shin perpendicular. This might be really hard to just hold this position, so really focus up on flexing the feet. Take the arms out to the T position, slide the arms in front of you, start to twist over your front thigh, lean forward. We're not going to touch the floor here. Come back through the center and lean directly forward, this time just hovering over the ground. Rise back up. I twist over that thigh and lean. Ooh. And I come back through the center, kind of bowing forward over the hips. Let's do one more on this side, leaning towards that knee in front of us and folding directly in front of the hips. Good. Fun little switch. Move the opposite shin parallel, opposite shin perpendicular. Arms come back out to that T. And I don't know if you can see it on the film, but this is a definitely tighter side for me. And that's part of this work, right? Just kind of digging into what the capabilities are in the hips today. Open twist and return and fold. I'm still flexing my feet. My back is flat. I'm not rounding as I'm folding my way forward. This is your last one forward. You're gonna meet me in a bridge position on the ground. So flipping over onto the heels of the feet, roll yourself down, slide your hands so that your elbows are out at the edges of your mat. Your feet are as wide as your mat. So we're getting ready for a wide bridge. Take your hands to your stomach. Then I'm gonna open them out. So this is feeling like a little bit of a shoulder stretch in the front of the body. Lift your hips up, pull the navel in. Feel the gluteal tuck and the stretch through the psoas. Slowly articulate down, bring the hands back to the stomach. Good, peel the arms open, lift the hips out, squeeze, neck is long, and slow release. Maybe the other hand comes on top. Doesn't have to be that exact, but it does feel nice to open and close. The elbows are actually rooted into the floor here as the arms slowly open and close from the body and to the body. Last hip bridge and last lower down. Good. Hug your knees in, give your back a little massage and rock your way up. Moving into our next block, we actually are going to go back into a bridge position. But before we do that, if you need a sip of water, grab it, because we're moving into this next block of work. In this instance, I'm going to bring my feet so that the soles are together and my knees are splayed out. And I'm also going to bring my arms to my sides. So this is a little tricky. I'm going to slowly lift my hips and hug my knees together. So now I'm feeling inner thigh engagement. So there's a little work here, and then lower the hips down. Excellent. We're going to add into that. Take the arms over the chest, cross the elbows, and curl your way up. So you're looking towards your elbow joint, feeling the back and really press into the mat, and then feeling the abdominals engage. Release. Remember the arm that you have on top, and you're going to switch that right away. So it's a passive hip stretch with a curl and stretch the back body. Little bit of everything, right? Tuck your chin. I'm holding for a little bit of time for a reason. Slowly release. Take those hands back to your sides. Lift your hips and squeeze in. You're trying to vice the legs together. Then slowly set the hips down. One arm on top of the other. Tuck your chin, curl your way up. Looking towards the elbows. Slowly release. Unwind, rewind, right? Curl up. Feel that engagement through the abdominals. Stretch through the low back. And release. Good. Now from here, we're still on the floor. You're going to do a bound arm saw. So bring your heels all the way towards the edges of your mat. Reach your arms over your chest. Very Pilates-esque here. Squeeze your seat. Curl your way up, 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 up. Once you're all the way up, we're gonna twist over to one side and bind the arms. So I'm gonna wrap this arm around my back, wrap this arm around my toes, and lean back. Good. Roll yourself back down, slow as molasses in Vermont in December. Set your hands back down, take a moment, take the arms back up overhead. Curl your way up, slow, 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 slow. I now twist to the back and I bind. So you can see what's happening with that back hand. Big spinal twist here. Return through the center, sit tall, and roll yourself down. Beautiful work, team. We've got time to do this last time. Set those palms for just a moment. And now tuck your seat, reach those arms over your chest, curl your head, neck, and shoulders. Roll yourself up. If you have to assist, assist. I bind my saw. I return through the center and I articulate to lower down. What I love about this is there's a little bit of strength, there's a little bit of stretch. Good. A little bit of carrot, a little bit of stick, you know. Come back up, curl up. This is your last one. Round, round, round. Then flex, reach, and twist. taking that arm behind the back body for that deep spinal rotation. Come back through the center. Now it's time for this beautiful reverse table. We've done a lot with the hips fixed, so let's go ahead and lift off those hips. Feel that stretch sensation. We did this in the warm-up. We're gonna shift forward as far as we can, shift back as far as we can. So this is a lot on the hands for certain people. Feel free to take little breaks. We're gonna be up here for another few seconds, just feeling into this. Press into the heels. And then from this position, I'm gonna set my hips down. Slide my heels slightly forward. Take the arms forward. Ring the wrists all the way around in both directions and roll yourself just to tap that low back. We're continuing on this abdominal train. Roll my way up. Do it again. Little circle of the wrists and a little dip of the hips. Beautiful. Place those hands behind the hips. Bring those heels back to the ground. Lift those hips up. Okay, we're gonna add into this. Lower the hips down, turn the palms a little bit. Reach one arm up and over, and then the other arm up and over. So if you need breaks, you take breaks, set your hips back down, reset the wrists. Good, take it again. 3 is the magic number in comedy, and today it's the magic number in our mobility athletic stretch. So we've got one more per side. Big lift, big reach, big stretch. Engage the seat, return, and repeat. Good work. Set those hips down. I have to move my mic, so just take a little break, have a little sip, and I'll be right back. Thank you. We're back. We're gonna do a hamstring stretch. So bring your knee into your chest, roll yourself back, extend your heel all the way to the sky. Feel that hamstring stretch. Bring that foot across the hip. So we're gonna feel a nice little hamstring all the way into the glute. This in yoga is often called half happy baby. We're gonna take that knee across the hip, look to the back wall, open back out. Grab for your knee here, curl your way up, send that leg long, and you guessed it, we're gonna do the other side. So knee comes into the chest, roll your way back with control. Extend that heel to the sky, flex the foot. Pull that heel as close as you can to your face, nice little hamstring stretch. Then grab for the outer edge of the foot, half happy baby on side 2. Nice little bend of the knee, press down through the lower back. Then we're gonna cross the hips, supine twist. Nice little IT band stretch. Take some breaths here. Return through the center, bring your knee back in. We'll do that 2 more times. Round your way up, slide that leg forward. Curl in, round down, and extend the knee straight, flexing through the foot. Half happy baby, side number 2. And we supine twist across the hip. When I do that, I look to the back wall, return through the center, bring your knee in tight to your heart, roll yourself up, send that leg long. Side number 2 for real, second time. Hug your knee and roll yourself down. Good. Extend that heel to the ceiling. Curl your toes to your face. Half happy baby. And we'll do that supine twist. If at any point this feels like we're speed racing, slow it down. Come back through center 1 more time per side. Curl your way up, send it long. Hug your knee in, round down. Slide that leg straight, pull it a little closer. So you notice as you're going over this time and time again, perhaps you're finding more ability to get into that deepness of the hips and shoulders. Returning through the center, last one, we'll do our second side. Curl our way down and extend that heel. Curl in, feel that hamstring stretch, and we bring it across on this hip. Now I turn to you. The sun is in my face, it's so lovely. Bring your knee back through the center and rock your way up to sit tall. We're gonna be moving into a little bit of side rolling here. So if you have a small space, you may wanna make sure you have a little bit of space to move side to side, not feel like you're gonna roll off your mat. So we're gonna take our arms over our head like this, like we're going swimming, and then we're gonna start to roll to my side. So rolling to your side, we're gonna catch the head and we're gonna catch the foot for a little dancer pose. So this is tough, I'm struggling. If you need to, you can bend that bottom knee and find a big back bend here. This will be a little easier, I think, to see when I go to the back. So as I rotate or lean over to the opposite side, facing away from you, I bend my bottom hand to support. I'm gonna bend my bottom knee, catch the top foot, and find that back bend bound. So I'm kicking my foot into my hand. Return through the center. Let's do that one more time per side. Little clunky, but that's good for us. We roll to the side. Nothing like a good side lying position. And then I'm going to find that back bend with the bind. I love this because it's a beautiful stretch through the shoulder. Return through the center. Last time on the second side. So we're rolling ourselves over to the side of the body. Bend the bottom knee a little bit for a more of a kickstand. And extend your spine. So you're sliding your chest to the back of the room as you're kicking your foot. Return through the center and set both your feet flat on the mat. Take a moment. We're gonna slowly bring our feet a little wider than the mat. Tent your knees in. This is a big stretch internally for the hips. Then from this position, I'm gonna grab for the ankle of the left and I'm gonna lean to the left. Big stretch through the side of my body on the right. Good, and return. I'm holding the head with the other hand and I'm finding a little side bend stretch and core activator. In other words, a little bit of both. Good, return, hug those knees together, like as if I had a little paper plate, I'd put it right there. Rest your head into your hand. Let your hand be your cradle and return. If at any point you need to lower the head, please do that. Keep scooping your navel down. Last time, both sides. We started on this one. Good. I feel this really big contraction through the side body I'm holding, and then returning to the other side. So a little bit nicer movement here is next. We're going to set ourselves back to neutral. Take the hands, stack them behind the head, and flare the elbows out. We're going to walk our knees over to one side, and then walk our knees over to the other. So my feet are not moving. I'm just rocking my knees from one side to the other side. So earlier in today's workout, we did this little 90-90 position with our legs. This is a little continuation of that, but it's not as aggressive because the ground's not obviously supporting us. We have a little bit more leeway to move those hips right to left. Let's go one more time, both sides. So we started to this direction and we're gonna end on this direction. Beautiful. Let's bring our knees back to neutral, heel toe our feet back into touch. Curl our knees into our chest. Just give your back a little massage, just for a moment, little circle. And then from this position, set both feet on the floor. Take your arms over your chest and curl your way up, 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 up. So we are going to be on our bellies next. Last challenge of the day. Flip over onto your stomach. So once you're on your stomach, by the way, if being on your stomach doesn't work for you, I'll show you how to do this right now, which is you're gonna be in all fours. All right, so why don't we just do it this way? On all fours, let's face this direction. I'm going to find a little extension and flexion. So I will show you both variations since this is nice, right? A lot of us cannot be on our stomachs, and this is a great modification. So I'll do a couple here. Point the toe, find that extension and flexion of the spine. Last one on that side, let's switch. I'm gonna lift my chin and my toes as if I'm trying to touch my toes to the back of my head, and then round in. Let's do two more on this side and round in. Good, last one on this side. And pull the round in. So like I mentioned, if we're on our stomach, this would be the opposite variation or another variation. A little bit different, but still some work here. So I'm on my stomach. I'm gonna find that extension. I'm gonna bend that knee and lift. Ooh. And return. I love this because it's a quads stretch too. So this is it. I'm gonna lift and find my back bend and bend my knee. Beautiful job, team. Lift and find my back bend. Use the strength of the arms. If you feel any pulling in the lower back in this instance, don't worry about the leg part, just do the cobra part. Because I know it can be pretty intense on the lower back for certain folks to be doing it that way. Please don't feel obligated to do it that way. So finishing this out, lifting and returning, and lifting and returning. Oh my gosh. Meet me in a child's pose position. Knees are wide, toes are together, sink into the thighs. Let your head begin to descend to your mat. Let your shoulders start to melt towards the floor. And we're going to start to bend the elbows and connect the palms behind the head. Start to crawl those elbows in a little bit tighter and shift your hips back further. If you're not feeling much of a stretch through the lats and through perhaps the triceps, you could start to bring your knees in a little tighter, and that'll give you more of a stretch capacity. From this position, I'm going to slide those arms forward, roll myself up to sit. Last bit, I'm going to take that hand behind the head and start to tilt to the side. Showing this to you from the front, I think that's a way better position. I'm going to take my hand and slide it underneath my hip here and find a deeper stretch. Now start to floss the neck down and up. Slow wins this race, right? We're talking about working every single nook and cranny of the body today. So we'll do one more on this side. Just a nice little scrubbing of the shoulders here. Beautiful job. Set your other foot, or hand, this is a hand, underneath your hips, and we'll start to tilt the head with the help of the hand, ushering our chin towards our chest. We're going to start to drop into that chin chest. I feel this all the way down the neck and all the way up and back. Good. Again, we're not trying to whip our neck around, right? So I like to close my eyes because I can really internalize how this feels for my body. Last time down, and last time around and back. Good, slide onto the hip of the left. I'm gonna place my hand, slide my arms up and bend the elbow. Maybe I try to lift off the hip here and feel a little bit of a sideline stretch. Keep the lift, take the arm, slide a twist, and bring it back to the hip. We'll do it 2 more times on this side. So hand a little forward of the shoulder. I'm gonna start to bend and lift. Hips come up. My knee is kind of hovering, that's okay. And then I'm gonna cross the body rotation. Return through the center, set the hip down, and switch your sides. So now I'm on the side of my hip of the right, stacking my feet. Hand is gonna be 45 degrees forward. Press into all 4 corners of that hand. Start to reach the arm up as you bend your elbow. Lift your hips, and this side might feel harder. It did for me just a moment ago. And then I rotate across. How far can I rotate? Come back through the center, set the hip, and rise. Again, lift your hips, lift your arm, bend your elbow, set it down. And then rotate across. And set your hips down. Last time. Lift your way up, lift your hips up, reach up. So I'm really stretching that side of the body. And then rotate across as far as I can. Wring it out. Return through the center and set the hips down. We're back on our back, last bit. Knees to chest. Cross your thighs, either thigh on the top, and grab for the outer edges of your feet. So for me, this feels pretty good. If it doesn't feel good to you, an alternative would be to hold the knees. So the further down you can get your grip, the harder this will feel in the hips, perhaps. So we're going to keep that cross of the legs, release the grip of the hands. Whatever knee you have on top is the way you're twisting away from. So for me, that's my right. I'm going to twist to my left and then goal post the arm of the right. Breathe in. On the exhale, knees come back, uncross the legs, recross, opposite thighs on top, and we'll do this butterfly stretch, hugging those knees together, hugging the inner thighs together, trying to lift that heel off of our hip perhaps. And then we'll take that unclasp, knees will drop towards the camera lens this time, and I'll look to this beautiful backdrop, this beautiful tree. And inhale your knees back through center, uncross the legs, set your feet flat on the floor. Let your arms just rest gently on your body. This is it. The last bit of our time together is all about breath. So you can feel the back of your ribs on the floor. If your low back feels good and you want to extend your legs straight, that might feel nice. But if you want to keep your feet bent or your knees bent, your feet flat, that's fine too. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and a loud sigh out. Feel your body from head to toe, just surrendering to the floor for a quick moment. And then on your next breath, we'll start to bend those knees once more. Take the hands, brace them on the outsides of the hips, start to curl your way up to sit. Take your time doing that. Just take your time taking a seat. Cross your legs or sit exactly how I started at the top in a nice kneeling position. And bring your hands to your heart. Really lovely to have you on this stretch journey with me today. This was athletic stretch. Hopefully this felt successful for the body. I hope to see you again. And again, my name is Mandy. This is GymRa. I hope you had fun, and I see you in the future.